Crypto prices are taking a nosedive, with XRP sliding alongside the rest of the market, currently sitting at $2.07 as I record this. Bitcoin has dropped to $82,324. Analysts are warning that prices could tumble further, XRP included, before we see a real resurgence of buyers stepping in to turn things around. But here's the thing, and this is just my personal take. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. Now is not the time for fear. Even if the market dips more, even if XRP sinks lower, panic doesn't help. One well-known chart analyst predicts XRP could potentially dip as low as $1.60, but few others are making that call. The general sentiment? Sellers may be controlling the narrative for now, but that won't last forever. There are plenty of reasons to stay optimistic, and I'll break those down for you shortly. But first, let me be absolutely clear. I'm not a financial advisor, I don't have a finance background, and nothing I say here should be seen as financial advice. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves talking about this stuff on YouTube as a hobby. So make your own decisions and don't trade based on what I say. For context, today is Saturday, March 29th, 2025, 6:55 a.m. Central Time, and the last 24 hours have been rough for many crypto holders. But let me assure you, this isn't the end of the world. In fact, here's a key reason why fear is misplaced right now. As I've said countless times over the years, the heartbeat of the crypto market is global liquidity, and that's what truly drives these wild swings. So let's dive in and unpack what's happening. As global liquidity rises, there's usually a bit of a lag, but ultimately, both the stock market and crypto assets tend to reap the rewards. Why? Because when people have extra funds, they invest in risk-on assets. Enter Raoul Pal, former Goldman Sachs executive, founder of Real Vision, and someone who knows his stuff. With 1.1 million followers hanging on his every word, he's a data-driven voice in the world of finance worth paying attention to. Oh, and he's holding XRP, by the way. Pal consistently highlights how increased liquidity fuels these markets, and given his deep expertise in finance, he's a voice you don't want to ignore. He highlights an intriguing insight: the waiting game is almost over. While he prefers a 10-week lead, what exactly is he showing here? The black line represents the global M2 10-week lead, essentially one of the most liquid forms of money worldwide, though technically M1 is even more liquid. And that pink line? It's the price of Bitcoin. The correlation is crystal clear. As global liquidity increases or decreases, Bitcoin responds, creating a fascinating connection. By tracking global liquidity trends, you can get a solid prediction of Bitcoin's movement, and by extension, the entire crypto market. What's driving these shifts? It's not solely Bitcoin halving, despite its correlation. It's global liquidity cycles, those 4-year patterns shaping markets. Sure, halving plays a role, thanks, Satoshi Nakamoto, but consider other 4-year cycles like US elections. Global liquidity might be the bigger driver here. The question remains, is this where the correlation cracks? The chart stretches back to 2023, and he's shared longer timelines before. While debates on the proper lead time, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, may seem like splitting hairs, the overarching idea is compelling. Julian Biddle, also of Raoul Pal's GMI, global macro investor at Real Vision, offers his take. He playfully suggests a 12-week lead is superior to Raoul's 10-week preference. We're mostly closing the gap versus global M2 with the 12-week lead, he writes, noting the first week of April likely marks the bottom for the white line before we climb again. It's a fascinating perspective, a blend of data, humor, and bold predictions. The bottoming zone is here. The question is, are you ready for what's next? So, unless you truly believe this time is different, and let's face it, they've been hammering this point home, numbers ultimately rise. Honestly, as I keep saying, there are so many other factors to consider. Right now, we're just not seeing those classic top signals. Take this post from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto, for example. He pointed out that interestingly, none of the usual crypto top indicators have triggered this cycle. He's pulled together a massive list of around 30 different metrics, and I'll leave it to the chart analysts out there to debate if all of these indicators are equally important. That's fine. But even if they're not all crucial, the point stands. Certain key behaviors in human psychology have always accompanied cycle tops, and they're just not happening yet. Unless this time is truly unprecedented, and sure, history does allow for exceptions. The top isn't in yet. Yes, every now and then something entirely new happens, a legitimate deviation, but that's rare. So, given that we're playing the probability game here, no, I don't think the recent price dip for XRP means the party's over. I just checked. XRP hit $2.06 before I hit record. Sure, maybe it dips lower, but that doesn't signal the end. It simply doesn't. Analysts like Mikey Bull Crypto clearly understand this, and it's hard to argue otherwise. Here's a post that really resonated with me from chart analyst Mustache. He said, "Number altcoins. Looks like most people have thrown in the towel. Feels a lot like the 2022 bottom, doesn't it? Anyone else still holding on to hopes for new highs in 2025? Because I sure am. I'm raising my hand right now. I believe it's not only possible, but probable. If it's not, well, that would mean this time is actually different, and I'm not buying that narrative. I was here in 2022, and I remember the fear after the FTX collapse. People were convinced prices would keep sinking, that there was no bottom. Sentiment was in the gutter then, just like it feels now. But honestly, I don't think this is the end. It doesn't add up. Global liquidity is increasing, and you're telling me investors won't take risks in this environment. That's hard to believe." Mustache also shared this. Take a look at the crypto total market cap chart. He asked, "Why so worried? This is just chop before a significant move higher. Look at 2020 to 2021. It's all playing out as expected. As long as the structure holds, everything's fine." And he's right. The volatility might feel unsettling, but the market is still moving within a predictable range. None of the top analysts I follow, those who nailed the 2022 bottom, have changed their stance. No one's saying, "Well, that's it, game over." So, keep your eyes on the bigger picture. This story isn't over yet. I can't think of anyone who's accurately called the bottom for Bitcoin, the point where the fun really begins in the cycle. Not one. None of them seem to have flipped the switch, so I'm sticking to the folks with solid track records. You know what I mean? There are plenty of voices out there shouting, "It's over!" But let's not forget, many of those same people thought the market would drop much further. And surprise, it bottomed out years ago. Just saying, Jay. Take this post from the blockchain backer, for example. He wrote, "Wild week in stocks. The Russell 2000 held the 200-week moving average. The Magnificent 7 took a beating. Tech megacap momentum is gone. Big question. Will small and mid caps finally benefit when the animal spirits return?" He's been mulling this over for months now. Could this cycle be unique? Instead of massive surges in specific stocks, we might see a rotational price action playing out. And if that correlation holds between small, mid-cap stocks and altcoins, we're talking about an alt season, folks. That's the dream. XRP could soar as people dive further into the risk curve. If true, that'd be incredible. Now, check out Credible Crypto's recent analysis on Bitcoin. He shared a chart just last night at 10:04 p.m. Central saying, "Bitcoin's stuck in the middle of the range we've been tracking. This dip so far, just more chop. Nothing special. That's crypto for you. Welcome to the ride." He pointed out a local demand zone that might mark a bottom before Bitcoin pushes into supply above. If that level breaks, it's range lows next for a triple tap. Break that, and we're looking at higher time frame demand zones he marked months ago. Options abound right now, and choppy waters are part of the crypto game. Patience is the name of the game. Staying steady and letting the market take its course is key, and his conviction hasn't wavered despite the short-term price swings. While this mindset can feel unsettling to those unfamiliar with the volatility of this space, he remains firm in his belief. Bitcoin could still peak around $150,000, and XRP might hit anywhere between $20 and $30. That perspective hasn't shifted, even though he acknowledges a strong possibility of XRP dipping lower in the near term. Take a look at the post on your screen. He's suggesting XRP might drop to $1.60 or $1.80. It's not a common prediction, and finding analysts with solid track records who think this is likely is rare. Still, I value sharing diverse viewpoints. And if he's right, he deserves all the credit. But even if this drop happens, he's confident it's far from the end of XRP's run. Far from it. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom diving into XRP's order book analysis. He points out that the order books on Coinbase and Binance are thin up until the $2 mark, meaning additional selling pressure won't hit resistance until then. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen XRP drop from $2.20 or $2.25 to closer to $2 as I'm recording this. But this price action relates to the order books, specifically the volume of buyers and sellers at various levels. And Dom's insights help make sense of it all. If XRP falls below $2, a sharper drop, as Credible Crypto predicted, could happen. But, for now, that $2 level is holding. Dom also notes that books are thin on the way back up to $2.50, meaning whoever acts aggressively here, buyers or sellers, will dictate the next move. At the moment, sellers have the upper hand. Order book skews have flipped positive, but haven't hit the high levels seen last month. Interestingly, most of the selling pressure over the last few hours has come from the perpetual market, not spot holders. XRP is moving in lockstep with Bitcoin, with no unusual selling specific to XRP itself. This is all part of the natural ebb and flow of the market, and understanding these dynamics is crucial. Dom's updates offer clarity on why this behavior is happening and remind us that such price movement is simply a reflection of market mechanics. Keep an eye on the charts because this game is far from over, and as always, it's all about who takes control next. Over the last 24 hours, if you compare XRP to Bitcoin, you'll notice some strikingly synchronized moves. Pretty typical in the crypto world. Sellers might be in control for now, but that's no reason to panic. Let's dive into what the analysts are saying, starting with XRP Crypto. He recently shared an update on XRP's inverse head and shoulders pattern, outlining key levels and potential targets. His analysis highlights a price target range of $3.70 to $3.90, with the upper end highly achievable if specific conditions are met. He emphasizes that XRP shouldn't close a daily candle below $2, a level many other analysts also see as critical. If it does, a fair value gap could emerge, potentially causing a temporary dip, but a quick rebound is expected. Interestingly, this aligns with Credible Crypto's assessment, which suggests XRP could temporarily drop to $1.60 to $1.80 before recovering. eGrid lays out 4 actionable steps. First, the $2.65 level must flip into support. Second, closing above $3 would mark a key milestone. Third, a break above $3.20 to $3.40 would be critical. Finally, if XRP reaches $4.60 but shows weakness, it could signal the start of a distribution phase, which raises some concerns. However, as of now, there's no reason to worry. In fact, analysts are consistently emphasizing that nothing is broken in the current setup. Just a few hours ago, trade analyst Stephus Crypto pointed out that XRP is extremely oversold, urging investors to ignore bearish sentiment and anticipate a big bounce soon. He highlighted the relative strength index dipping into oversold territory, indicating a potential reversal is looming. And he's not alone. Dark Defender echoed this view yesterday, noting that XRP was oversold on the 4-hour time frame, with $2.22 acting as a key level. Yes, XRP has dipped below that, but remember, markets, even crypto markets, always find bottoms. Whether it's a local bottom or a larger one, the bounce is inevitable. So, is this the moment to feel anxious? Absolutely not. This could be a time to get excited. As the charts evolve and analysts weigh in, the larger picture suggests opportunity, not fear. Let's see how this unfolds. Because in crypto, timing the bottom can make all the difference. Alright, here's the deal. I can't predict the future, no one can. Maybe the bears are right this time, maybe this cycle is different. And yeah, that would suck. It'd be strange, unsettling even, because it's never happened before in history. But if that's the case, well, so be it. What would I do then? Easy. With any new money I earn, I just keep accumulating more. If we're diving into a deeper bear market, then I'll use that time to stack up even more crypto. After all, I've got to put my money somewhere, right? Then, I'll wait for the next bull run. Maybe I'll sell then. The point is, it's not something to fear. The opportunity doesn't disappear just because the market isn't playing nice today. Sure, I'd be a little disappointed. I was hoping to sell most, if not all, of my crypto this cycle, including my XRP. But hey, I can't control the market. What I can control is how I approach it. This is the mindset you need as an investor. If the opportunity doesn't come now, I'll sell when it does. And in the meantime, I'll use it to grow my position. Patience and a long-term view. That's what separates the winners from the losers. It's true for stocks, and it's true for crypto. People don't like to hear that. I get it. Everyone wants their Lambo now. But that's just not how this works. The people with the right mindset, they're the ones who walk away with the big wins. Bottom line, you either stay in the game for when the fun stuff happens or you don't. Sure, you could panic sell. Your call. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But fast forward a decade, and this market is going to be so much bigger than it is now. Can you even imagine? We don't know exactly when or by how much, but it's going to happen. Personally, I can't imagine not having exposure to it. I can't imagine not being excited about where this is headed. I get it, though. Right now, it's not exactly a thrilling ride. For some, it's downright frustrating. That's why I'm urging you to focus on your mindset. Do what's best for you. I can't tell you what that is, but I'll tell you this. Days like today aren't worth the fear. There's too much opportunity ahead. Keep your time horizon in check, and we'll go get ours. That said, if I had to make a bet, I'd say we do see XRP enter price discovery this cycle. Face-melting price discovery. I wouldn't be shocked at all if those analysts predicting double-digit XRP prices turn out to be right. Not even a little bit. And just to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't go buy or sell anything because of what I've said here. That would be a terrible idea. Make your own decisions, but stay sharp, stay patient, and don't lose sight of the bigger picture.